Have you ever almost lost someone that you've been close to your entire life? If not, consider yourself lucky. If so, I guess we've been in the same boat before. I had just arrived to work after I had left school. It was a cool October day. Everything was going fine until my mom called. Hey, I think we're gonna have to go to the hospital. Just come home and I'll explain when you get there. She hung up. Now 16-year-old me, of course, flipped out. Whose mom just calls him and is like, yep, we're going to the hospital. Come home from work, of all places. So I get in my white Toyota Camry, I put that thing in sport mode, and I head home. When I'd arrived, my family was piling themselves into my mom's Camry, and I thought to myself, now why is this so urgent? Everyone seems to be accounted for, so I'm not seeing any issues here. Then it just clicked. I looked at my mom and I said, Granny G, and she just nodded. Now, me and my great-grandmother had been really close my entire life, so hearing this news was some of the hardest news I've ever had to hear in my whole life. So I just silently get in the car and we rushed to Skyline. I prayed the entire way. When we got there, we were greeted by my grandmother. She led us through the cool, unfamiliar halls of the hospital to my great-grandma's room. Now, walking in, she seemed fine, peaceful even. But as soon as we got closer and she realized we were there, she said, I was taken aback, obviously. No words, really. I was speechless. My grandma looked at me and said, word salad. Apparently that's what doctors call it when you can't put all your words together and they just come out. So I looked at her and she looked so tired. She had those white and blue mittens on her hands and she looked helpless. The white and the blue mittens were to not yank out her IV. That's what my grandma said. Yank out her IV? What? So we just look at her. But all of a sudden she starts yelling, help, help, help. Help? Help with what? So we're like, help? What do you need help with? She's like, off. Please, please. She's talking about her mittens. She wants them off. That's the one thing we can't do. She'd hurt herself. So what do you say? No? Well, that's what we did. We said no. And we didn't stay for long after that. We needed rest and so did she. We piled back in the car and went home. Got a good night's rest, woke up the next day. My parents went to work and I went to school. All's normal, right? Wrong. That's all I could think about the next day. The begging, the pleading, the mittens, the hospital. It was awful. I walk into my third block class, which is the class we eat lunch in, and I see TEST on the board. A test. Great, a test. I can't even function myself and I have to take a test. I just sit down and I take the test and I finish it sloppily before lunch. And then I'm on my way to lunch. I sit down with my two best friends and everyone's talking around me, but I try to just distract myself with my phone because I wasn't hungry and I had a lot to think about. So I sit there and my friends are talking and then I get a text. Attachment, one video from my grandma in the family group chat. I debated on opening it for a second, but I just clicked on it anyway. Turn the volume up. It's my great grandma. She's eating pudding. And she doesn't have those mittens on anymore. Ding again. One text, one word from my grandma. Improvement. The people that are in your life now are not going to be in your life forever. Death is inevitable. Live your life to the fullest, hold your loved ones tight, and your friends tighter.